Your bids on your Amazon PPC campaigns can make a huge difference of whether they're successful, get you more ranking, more sales, more profits, or they just bleed money. So it's critical that you get your bidding down correctly. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can better manage your bids and decide what do you actually bid on your campaigns on Amazon. With that, let's go ahead and get into this. So one thing you could do is you could use Amazon suggested bids. Oftentimes it's going to help you at least know, are you playing in the right ballpark? Now, a couple things I would say is always take their suggested bids with a little bit of a grain of salt. Amazon, they're good people. They've got good data. Now, their data is going to be skewed towards making sure that PPC continues to be the most profitable division of their company, at least right now, is advertising. And so a lot of that comes from sponsored ads, such as PPC, your sponsored product ads. So things are going to skew towards you spending a little bit more money. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, because that could help you get more sales, but just know that. So oftentimes you might even see that like a keyword is getting over 100% ACOS, and they might even be suggesting that you double the bid on it. That might be a little bit too much. So no matter what bidding tactics you use, it's always best that you have a person making a decision and not just blindly following whatever suggestion that you're getting. So definitely can use Amazon's suggested bids to help you. Then from there, another thing you could do is just come up with kind of an if-then statement. So it's basically your own algorithm. So such as if it's profitable, but you're not ranking enough, you increase by 15%. Now, of course, you want to not just keep increasing that in perpetuity, because sometimes you're just bidding up your own bids and you're making it too expensive for yourself. Then another thing you could do is if it's not profitable, you can decrease a little bit by maybe 10 cents or by 10%, depending on what might make more sense for you. But just know that sometimes when you change your bid, it also might change your placements. You might not be at the top of search. You might be getting more product page placements, and that could affect your profitability. So just keep that in mind. But adjusting your bids one way or the other, almost kind of like if you're driving down the road, you're making little adjustments on your car to stay in the lane, whether you go a little bit left, a little bit right. You don't want to make huge adjustments unless you're trying to swerve to not hit something. And sometimes PPC, you're trying to swerve and not hit something. So another way you could do this is a formula that I've come to like, and it's called revenue per click. Shout out to Michael Erickson Fasheen from Ad Badger. He's the one that first taught me this. Basically, you take your revenue for a particular keyword during whatever time period you're looking at, you divide that by the number of clicks, and then you multiply that by your desired ACOS. Now, that might sound great, but what does that actually look like in practice? Well, let's take a look at an example. So let's say you have a keyword, it's getting 25 clicks, it has $100 in revenue, and you have a desired ACOS of 30%. So theoretically, your next 25 clicks should perform the same way if you have the same conversion rate. But if you have, theoretically, if things work out, your next 25 clicks will perform the same way as your last 25 clicks. So this will help you know, should you bid up or down? So the way this formula works in practice is if you have your $100 in revenue, you divide it by that 25 clicks or whatever the clicks was. You can use this in a spreadsheet to fill it out at mass, so to speak. Then let's say you have $100 in revenue divided by 25 clicks. That means on average, every time someone clicked on your ad, you made $4. Now, of course, people aren't giving you partial sales, but you made on average $4 per click. So if you were to take that times your desired ACOS of, let's say, 30%, that would mean that the maximum you could bid and pay is $1.20 if your next 25 clicks work the same way as your last 25 clicks. Now, a couple things to keep in mind with this is if you have a keyword that's not performing for whatever reason, you might, instead of maybe your bid was $1.20 and the math takes you down to 25 cents. That might be too much to bid down all at once. And then the opposite is true. You might have let's say a keyword that only had 4 clicks and it made $100 in revenue. And you might have this, I'm going to take my face off there so you can see the bid, but you might have a huge bid that this formula is suggesting. And that's one of the challenges with a lot of software tools is that sometimes they use formulas and the formulas don't have all the information, or they're making too big of swings all at once, or they're just increasing your bids over and over again. So that's why you always need a person to take a look at this. But in this video, we showed you 3 different ways that you can better manage your bids on Amazon. Sometimes it really just comes down to using a collection of all 3, which is what I personally like to do, although revenue per click is where I usually start. So I'd love to know, how do you manage your bids? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you're not subscribed or following us, please do so. Take care.